Hello everyone, welcome. In this session of Mathematics for Determinants, we will study to find the inverse of a square matrix using determinants. Recall, minor of each element of a determinant is denoted by Mij, right? Mij is a minor of an element Aij of a determinant, and it is obtained by deleting ith row and jth column. It is the determinant obtained by deleting ith row of and jth column where Aij lies. And you have learned the cofactors. Cofactors. What are cofactors? These are denoted by Aij, block letter Aij. This Aij is a cofactor of small letter Aij, which is obtained by writing it as -1 to the power I plus j into Mij, where Mij is a minor of Aij. So, cofactors, you have learned how to get the cofactors of each element of a determinant. Then you also learned to find the adjoint of a square matrix. So, adjoint of a square matrix is denoted by Adj of A, adjoint A, and it is the transpose of a cofactor matrix. What is adjoint A? It is transpose of a cofactor matrix. Cofactor matrix is denoted by matrix Aij of same order as matrix A, and it is its transpose of cofactor matrix is adjoint A. And then you have to learn A inverse, how to find A inverse using adjoint of A. Alright. Now, before going to find the inverse of a square matrix A, let us see what is a singular matrix and what is a non-singular matrix. Singular and non-singular matrices. Singular matrix and a non-singular matrix. Look at this example. Let A be a square matrix. It is given as 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay, there is a square matrix A with elements matrix 2, 4, 1, 2. Now, implies you know how to find the determinant of A. What is the determinant of A here? Determinant of 2, 4, 1, 2 can be written as cross multiply. This is 4 minus 4 is 0. Look at this. A is a square matrix such that its determinant value is 0. Then we call a square matrix A as a singular matrix. Look at this. If determinant A is equal to 0, if the determinant value of A is a 0, then matrix A is called is a singular matrix. Singular matrix. So, when can you say a matrix A is singular? If the determinant value of A is 0, then a matrix A is called as a singular matrix. Now, look at this one more example. Matrix B equals 1, 2, 4, 5. Matrix B is a square matrix of order 2. The elements are given here. That implies what is the determinant of B? Determinant of B. The elements of determinant of the elements 1, 2, 4, 5. You know how to find the value of this determinant? Cross multiply 5 minus 4 into 2, 8, that is minus 3, which is not equal to 0. Which is not equal to 0. So, here we have a determinant B. There is a square matrix B such that its determinant value is not equal to 0. If determinant B is not equal to 0, then B is called as a non-singular matrix. So, here B is a non-singular matrix. B is a non-singular matrix because why? Determinant of B is not equal to 0. As determinant of B is not equal to 0, matrix B is a non-singular matrix. Here B is a matrix which is a non-singular matrix if its determinant value is not equal to 0. So, you can go to this one definition now, singular and matrix and a non-singular matrix. Non-singular matrix. Now, look at this. A square matrix A is called a singular matrix if determinant of A is equal to 0. And again, a square matrix A is called a non-singular matrix if determinant A is not equal to 0. Please make a note of this definition of singular matrix and a non-singular matrix. A square matrix A is called a singular matrix if determinant A is equal to 0. A square matrix A is called a non-singular matrix if determinant A is not equal to 0. Here are the examples for that. Please make a note of this. Students, you have learned the theorem 1, which states that A into adjoint A equals adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I. You know how to prove this also. Now, there is theorem 2, which the proof is not given, only the statement you need to remember. Theorem 2 is, if A and B are the two non-singular matrices, then A into B, the product of two matrices, non-singular matrices A and B, is also non-singular, and B into A is also non-singular matrix. So, if A and B are the two non-singular matrices, then we can write AB is non-singular and BA are also non-singular matrices. These two are non-singular matrices such that the order of A, B and are same, equal to n, and the order of AB and BA also will remain the same. Okay. So, if A and B are the non-singular matrices of same order, then we can write A into B is non-singular, AB and BA, the product of these two matrices A and B, product of the two matrices A and B, AB or BA. AB and BA are also non-singular matrices. Of same order. Okay. This is just to remember, A and B are two non-singular matrices of same order. Then AB, when you multiply the two non-singular matrices, you will get a non-singular matrix again, AB of same order, and BA also a non-singular matrix. This is theorem 2. Similarly, theorem 3 is very simple. If A and B are two non-singular matrices, and A and B are the square matrices. If A and B are the square matrices of same order, then we can write the determinant of AB. Look at this, determinant of AB, multiply A and B, we will get the matrix again of same order, and determinant of it is equal to determinant of A into determinant of B. What is it? Determinant of A into B is equal to determinant of A into determinant of B. So, here the two matrices A and B are the square matrices of same order. So, determinant of the product of two matrices is equal to the product of the determinant of respective matrices, or determinant of A into B is determinant A into determinant B. Please make a note of this. Let A be a non-singular matrix, then you know how to find the adjoint of A. Adjoint A is a transpose of a cofactor matrix. Adjoint A is a transpose of a cofactor matrix. Now, how to find that? You have to find all the cofactors of each element of a matrix A, and then the transpose, if you find, that is how we get the adjoint of A. Suppose you want to find the determinant of adjoint A. Is it possible to find a determinant of adjoint A. Look at this. We have learned the formula in the first theorem, which states that A into adjoint A is equal to adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I. This is the first theorem. Now, here we consider only these two. That implies we can even take A into adjoint A is equal to determinant A into I. We can write like this. A into adjoint A is determinant A into I. Now, what is I here? If A is a square matrix of order 3, let the order of A be 3, order 3. So, I is also a square matrix of is an identity matrix of order 3. So, we write this as A into what is I identity matrix 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. We can write like this, identity matrix. Now, if determinant A, you know determinant A is a number. So, number when you multiply to a matrix, each element should be multiplied by that number. So, it is written as A into adjoint A is equal to determinant A is multiplied to each element, so that it is 1 into determinant A is determinant A, 0 into determinant A is 0, 0 here. The next row 0, 1 is multiplied to determinant A, it is determinant A, then 0, 0, 0, determinant A. So, A into adjoint A is equal to, we get a square matrix where the elements are determinant A and 0, 0 here, and this is a square matrix of order 3. Now, apply determinant on both sides. Is it possible to apply determinant? Yes. Here when you apply determinant in the lectures, it is determinant of A into adjoint A. And here the determinant value is determinant of determinant A 0, 0, 0. Remember, this determinant A is a number. So, you know, from a determinant, from each row, determinant A can be taken out. In the first row, determinant A is common. In the second row, again one more determinant A is there, multiplied to each element. 0 into any number is 0 itself. So, here is one determinant A, and in the third row also, determinant A is common. So, from the first row, determinant A is taken into the one determinant A from the second row into determinant A. So, here it can be written as, which implies, and also we know determinant of A into B is equal to determinant A into determinant B. We can write like this. So, what is LHS? A into adjoint A, it is a determinant of A into adjoint A, can be written as determinant A into determinant of adjoint A. Determinant A into determinant of adjoint A equals, look at this, from the first row determinant A is taken out, and from the second row one more determinant A, third row also determinant A. So, determinant A whole cube, 3 times determinant A is taken out, and the remaining elements are here 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. Now, expand it, students, expanding along the first row or any row, you will get the value of this determinant, which implies determinant A into adjoint A, determinant of adjoint A equals determinant of A cube into, when you expand it, what do we get? 1 into, expanding along the first row, 1 into 1 or simply 1 we have, which implies, now here determinant A into determinant of adjoint A is equal to determinant A the whole cube. So, divide the whole equation by determinant A, dividing by determinant A, what do we get? Which implies here when you divide it by determinant A, this is cancelled. Adjoint A is equal to divided by determinant A. Here determinant A the whole cube divided by determinant A. What is it? It is cancelled. So, here we get the answer as determinant of adjoint A is once the determinant A is cancelled, determinant A the whole square. So, it is possible to get the determinant of adjoint A without finding the determinant A. That is, only if you know the given matrix, square matrix A, get the determinant value, square that. If the matrix A is of order 3, then you have to get the determinant A to the power 3 minus 1, that is 2 here we have. Suppose we have a square matrix A of order n. What is then the determinant of adjoint A? How can you write the determinant of adjoint A? If A is a square matrix of order n, then determinant of adjoint A is equal to determinant A to the power n minus 1. Look at this. If A is a square matrix of order 3, then the determinant of adjoint A is determinant of A to the power 3 minus 1, that is 2 you get. So, if A is a square matrix of order n, then how will you write? Adjoint A, determinant of adjoint A equals determinant A to the power n minus 1. This is when A is a square matrix of order n. If A is a square matrix of order n. If A is a square matrix of order n, then determinant of adjoint A is equal to determinant A to the power n minus 1. Please make a note of this formula. So, here we can find the determinant of adjoint A without finding the adjoint A if the value of matrix A is given. Find the determinant of A to the power n minus 1, where n is the order of a square matrix A. Please make a note of this, students. Now, let us see the fourth theorem, which states that matrix A is invertible if and only if A is a non-singular matrix. A square matrix A is invertible if and only if A is a non-singular matrix. Okay. A square matrix A is invertible if and only if means either way you have to prove. See, first you need to prove a square matrix A is invertible. If a square matrix A is invertible, then prove that A is a non-singular matrix. That is the first proof. And you need to prove conversely also. Conversely, it states that if a square matrix is a non-singular matrix, if A is a non-singular matrix, then reverse order, then a matrix A is invertible. So, both the ways we have to prove. Okay, one by one. The proof. First one, implies and implied by. Here, if and only if relation means implies and implied by. Both the ways we have to prove. So, first one, we will prove if A is a square matrix which is invertible, if A is invertible, if a square matrix A is invertible, then what? A is a non-singular matrix. A is a non-singular matrix. Okay. First we will prove this. A square matrix A is invertible. Inverse exists. Okay. So, A is invertible. Means what? Definition of invertible matrix. There exists a matrix B such that If you multiply A and B, you will get the identity matrix. Either way, B and A, when you multiply, you will get the identity matrix. So, A is invertible implies there exists a square matrix B of same order such that what is it? A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I, and also we say that B is equal to A inverse and B is equal to A inverse. That is the definition of invertible matrix. So, what is invertible matrix? Square matrix A is said to be invertible if there exists a square matrix B of same order such that A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I. If you multiply A and B, you must get the identity matrix. So, here it is given that A is invertible. Now, we consider this implies A into B is also I. A into B can be taken as I. A into B is equal to I. Now, take determinants on both sides, which implies determinant of AB is equal to determinant of I. In the previous problem or the remark, we have seen determinant of I is 1, isn't it? So, here determinant of AB, also there is a theorem which states that determinant of AB is what? Determinant A into determinant B. So, this determinant of AB is written as determinant A into determinant B is equal to, what is determinant of I? It is 1. Determinant of I is equal to 1. Now, look at this. The A and B, the determinants of A and B are multiplied and you got the answer as 1. That means, here determinant A is a number, determinant B is also a number. The product of two numbers is 1. Here, since determinant A into determinant B is equal to 1, the product of two numbers is equal to 1, then determinant A is not equal to 0, B is also not equal to 0. If any one of these two determinants is equal to 0, then the product of these two can never be 1, it will be 0, isn't it? If either A or B is 0, then the product of these two will be 0, not equal to 1. So, we can say, therefore, that implies determinant A is not equal to 0, determinant B is also not equal to 0. Why? Because they are, if either A or B determinants equal to 0, either determinant A or determinant B is 0, then the product of determinant A into determinant B can never be 1, it might be 0. So, since both are non-zero, both the determinants are non-zero, we can get the product is equal to 1. So, here we can, so that implies we want determinant A is not equal to 0 because we have to prove A is a non-singular matrix. A is a non-singular matrix. So, here we got determinant A is not equal to 0. That means what? A is a non-singular matrix. A is a non-singular matrix. Hence a proof. Look at this. First part we have proved. Directly we have proved. Now the conversely. What is the converse of this theorem? We will prove the converse of this theorem. So what is it? First one, to prove A is a square matrix and A is invertible, then we have to show that A is a non-singular matrix. Means determinant A is not equal to 0. We have to prove that. Now first consider A is a invertible matrix. The invertible means what? It has inverse. So, there exists a square matrix B. We will assume B as a inverse of A of same order such that if A is invertible, we can write A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I. We got this. Now, consider only this, AB is equal to A into B is equal to I. So, A into B is also is equal to I. Take determinants on both sides. What do we have? Determinant of AB is equal to determinant of I, right? We know determinant of I, it is an identity matrix, so it will be 1. So, determinant of AB can be written as determinant A into determinant B from the previous theorem, we have that. So, we have the product of two determinants is equal to 1. But if the product of two non-zero numbers can be equal to 1, but if either of A or B is 0, then the product can never be equal to 1. If one of these two determinants is 0, what will happen? The product will be 0. That's why, because these two are the numbers. That's why here determinant A is not equal to 0, determinant B is also not equal to 0. So, here we write determinant A is not equal to 0. That is, if determinant A is not equal to 0, what do we know? The matrix A is a non-singular matrix. A is a non-singular matrix. So, now we will prove the converse of this theorem. What is the converse of this theorem? If A is a non-singular matrix, then a matrix A is invertible. We will prove that the given matrix A is invertible, can be invertible if it is a non-singular matrix, only if it is a non-singular matrix. Okay? That is the converse part of this theorem. Let us prove the converse part of this. Conversely, so that is, first we will consider what is that. If A is a non-singular matrix, if A is a non-singular matrix, A is a non-singular matrix, then prove that A is invertible. A is invertible. You have to prove this. Okay? So, what is the converse of this theorem? If A is a non-singular matrix, then A is invertible. We have to prove A is invertible. So, what is given here? A is a non-singular matrix. So, what do you mean by that? Given A is non-singular means determinant A is not equal to 0. It is given. Determinant A is not equal to 0. And we have the first theorem which states that we have, what is the first theorem? A into adjoint A is equal to, right? Adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I. This is the first theorem. A into adjoint A is equal to adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I. What we do? We will divide the whole equation by determinant A. What will happen? Let us see. So, dividing by determinant A. Each expression divided by determinant A, it can be written as A into adjoint A divided by determinant A. Since determinant A is not equal to 0, it is possible to divide it by determinant A is equal to, here adjoint A into A divided by determinant A, okay, and here determinant A into I divided by determinant A. So, here determinant A is cancelled. Now, I will group this in this way. Look at this, A into, here 1 by determinant A into adjoint A, I group this together, is equal to, here 1 by determinant A into adjoint A together into A is equal to I. Okay? So, A into 1 by determinant A into adjoint A is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A into A is equal to I. But we know, but we have A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I. Then B is the inverse of A. Then B is a inverse of A. B is equal to A inverse. B it is equal to A inverse. If we can write A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I. Just observe this equation 1, students. A into this part, 1 by determinant A into adjoint A is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A into A is equal to I. Can't we make it as, this is A, this is B. So, here is B, it is A. so that it is equal to I. So, we can we read this as A into whole term is B is equal to B into A is equal to I. Can we equate these two to make write this as A into B value is 1 by determinant A into adjoint A, which is equal to, this is B into A. B is 1 by determinant A into adjoint A into A is equal to I, means the product of two numbers. In this way, if the two matrices, if you get I, then one is the inverse of, we can write one is the inverse of other. So, what is the value of A inverse here? A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So, in this way, if A into B is equal to B into A is I, means B is the inverse of A. Similarly, if we have A into this matrix 1 by A into adjoint A is equal to the matrix B, this is B is 1 by determinant A into adjoint A, that is into A is equal to I, implies we can write A inverse, A is invertible and A inverse is equal to how much? 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. Very important conclusion. So, then if A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I, then A is invertible and B is equal to A inverse. A is invertible here. For being an invertible function, I mean invertible matrix, it is very important to say that A into B is equal to B into A is equal to I. Here A into 1 by determinant A into adjoint A, this one we will take it as B, is equal to B into A is equal to I we got, means A is invertible, that is what we have to prove. So, A is invertible we got. What is the inverse of A? Inverse of A is 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So, this is a formula you need to remember, it is very important part. A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. Determinant A, if matrix A is given, you know how to find the determinant A, and adjoint A is a transpose of a cofactor matrix. This also we know how to find. So, that is how we can find the inverse of A. Please make a note of this. So, next we will see the example problem. Say if A is invertible, you know, A is equal to, A inverse can be written as 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. This is a formula which is used to find the inverse of a square matrix. But what is the condition from the theorem 4? Theorem 4 states that if A is an invertible matrix, then A is a non-singular matrix, if and only if it is A is non-singular matrix. That means A is invertible. A is invertible if and only if A is non-singular matrix. Means A is invertible means A inverse exists. When can you say A inverse exists? If and only if A is non-singular means determinant A is not equal to 0. So, A inverse exists if and only if determinant A is not equal to 0. If determinant A is not equal to 0, then A inverse exists. A inverse exists. That is A is invertible. So, that is what the previous theorem. Here, now based on this formula, A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A, we can solve few problems. Look at this, if a matrix, given matrix is of order 2, first we will find what is the inverse of that. Find the inverse of a square matrix 2 minus 2 4 3, right. So, here is a square matrix of order 2, you are asked to find the inverse of it. So, when can you say inverse exists? Only when determinant A is not equal to 0. So, first find out what is the determinant of this, and if you get not equal to 0, if the determinant of this matrix is not equal to 0, then we can find the inverse of it. So, first Let us consider solution. Let A be a given square matrix 2, -2, 4, 3. A is a square matrix. Now we can find out now determinant A. That implies determinant A equals, write it in the form of determinant 2, -2, 4, 3. Cross multiply. What do we get? The value of this determinant A, 2 3s are 6, minus 4 into -2 is -8, minus of minus plus 8 is 14, which is equal to 0. So we got the determinant A, which is equal to 14, which is not equal to 0. That means what? That implies A inverse exists. A inverse exists. Now we can find A inverse. Now what is the formula to find A inverse? A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So to find A inverse, we need adjoint A. Okay. So if A is a square matrix of order 2, you know that adjoint can be found directly. How to find adjoint of A then? Therefore, adjoint A equals, what is that? Transpose, the diagonal elements you need to interchange. Interchange the diagonal elements. Change the sign of off diagonal elements. Change the sign. Change the sign. Okay. So diagonal elements interchange and the off diagonal elements change the sign. So what is it? Adjoint A equals diagonal elements interchange. So it is 3. -2 change the sign plus 2. 4 change the sign minus 4. Diagonal elements interchanging. This is 2. Here 3 to 2 minus 4. So it is adjoint A. Okay. So what is adjoint A? Interchange the diagonal elements, 2 3 change to 3 2 and change the sign of other two elements, -2 change to +2, 4 change to -4. It is adjoint A. Now our A inverse is 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. Therefore, A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So that A inverse equals 1 by determinant A, we got it as 14, into adjoint A we have 3 2 minus 4 2. This is the answer. Okay. So first a square matrix is given, find the determinant value. If you have the determinant value not equal to 0, then A inverse exists. Here we have determinant A as 14, which is not equal to 0. So A inverse exists. What is A inverse? A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So adjoint A we need to find. Determinant A we know 14. What is adjoint A? How to get adjoint A? Interchange the diagonal elements. 2 3 change to 3 2. Diagonal elements are 3 2 now. Now of diagonal elements change the sign. -2 change to +2, 4 change to -4. So it is adjoint A. Here we get the adjoint A. Now what is A inverse? 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So it is A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A is 14, adjoint A we got matrix 3 2 -4 2. It is the answer for the inverse, to find the inverse of a square matrix. Look at the next example, second one. Find the inverse of 2 1 3 4 -1 0 -7 2 1. We will assume it is a, look at that, it is a square matrix of order 3. You are asked to find the inverse of it. So let us assume this as, let A is a given square matrix. So it is 2 1 3 4 -1 0 -7 2 1. Given square matrix, we will assume it as A. Now first we have to find determinant A. If determinant A is not equal to 0, then we go to A inverse exists, A is invertible. Then we find the A inverse, value of A inverse, using the formula 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. Okay, what is determinant A here? Determinant A is equal to determinant of 2, 1, 3, 4, minus 1, 0, minus 7, 2, 1. Change the matrix to determinant. Now you can expand it. Where in which row or column you have 0, you can expand it along that. Since the third column we will have 1, 0, expand it along the third column, C3. So the position signs are plus, minus, plus. So expanding along third column, C3. C3. So which can be written as, which is equal to, okay, first is plus 3 into determinant of, leave the first row and third column where there is 3 lies. So the remaining elements are, write it as a determinant 4 minus 1 minus 7 2. Then next number is minus 0, no need to write any determinant. Next is plus 1 into, it is in the 1 is in the third row and third column. So eliminate third row and third column, remaining elements write it as a determinant 2 1 4 minus 1. Okay, what is the value of determinant A? Which implies determinant A is equal to, say 3 into cross multiply 14 minus 7 into minus 1 plus 7. So 14 minus 7 plus 1 into 4 2s are 8 here. 4 2s are 8 minus 7. Here 2 into minus 1 minus 2 minus 4. So the value of determinant A is 3 minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. So minus 3 which is not equal to 0, therefore A inverse exists. A inverse exists. So what do we have? Determinant A is 3 into 8 minus 7 we have, that is 1, 3 minus 2 minus 4 minus 6. So it is minus 3 which is not equal to 0. So A inverse exists. Our next work is to find the adjoint A. Adjoint A is the transpose of cofactor matrix. To find cofactor matrix or to find the cofactor of each element, to find the cofactor of each element of a determinant. Look at this, here is the determinant, you have to find the cofactor of each element. So first element is A11. A11, first row, delete the first row and first column, get the determinant, and what is the sign of it? Add the suffix here, the numbers 1 and 1, 2 we have, 1 plus 1, 2, which is even, so plus sign. Determinant of, delete first row and first column, minus 1, 0, 2, 1, which will be cross multiply minus 1, minus 0 is minus 1. Now next A12, A12, 1 plus 2 is 3, the odd number, so minus, eliminate first row and second column, 4, 0, minus 7, 1 we have, first row second column when you eliminate, 4, 0, minus 7, 1, which is 4 minus 0 or minus of 4, minus 4 minus 0 which is minus 4. Next A13 equals 1 plus 3, 4 even number. It says delete first row and third column. A13 means eliminate first row and third column. So the 4 elements are 4 minus 1 minus 7 2. First row and third column 4 minus 1 minus 7 2, cross multiply, it is 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. So A11, A12, A13 we got. Next is A21, A22, A23. A21, 2 plus 1, 3 odd number, so minus, eliminate the second row and first column, the 4 elements 1, 3, 2, 1, cross multiply, it is minus of 1 minus 6 that is plus 5. A22 plus, delete the first, second row and second column, 2, 3, minus 7, 1, which is equal to. So, cross multiply 2 minus 21 plus 21 it will be. So, 23. So, A23 it's 2 plus 3 5. So, odd number, write it as minus sign. Eliminate the second row and third column. So, the elements are 2 1 minus 7 2, which is minus of 4 minus 7 plus 7. So, it is minus 11. So, next 3 elements also we got cofactors. Now, the last 3 cofactors, that is A31, A32, A33. You know A31, 3 plus 1 even number, so plus, this is minus, it is plus. So, this is determinant of, eliminate the third row and first column. What are the elements? 1 3 minus 1 0. So, it is 0 minus of minus 3 plus 3. A32, what is it? Third row and second column when you eliminate, it is 2 3 4 0, which is equal to 0 minus of 0 minus 12 is plus 12. And finally, eliminating the third row and third column, what do we have? 2 1 4 minus 1, 2 1 4 minus 1, which is minus 2 minus 4, minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. So, these are the cofactors. If you know the cofactors, you can write the adjoint. Adjoint of A, how will you write adjoint A as? Adjoint A is, actually it is A11, A12, A13. Cofactor, the transpose of cofactor matrix. So, rows change to the columns. A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. So, we know the values. So, adjoint A is, look at this, A11, A12, A13, 1 minus 1 minus 4, 1. And second column 5, 23 minus 11, 5, 23 minus 11. Third column 3, 12 minus 6, 12 minus 6. So, here we have adjoint A. Now, to find A inverse, it is 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. Therefore, A inverse is equal to 1 by determinant A into adjoint A. So, we have a determinant A and adjoint A. So, we just write that A inverse equals 1 by determinant A. Here we have the value of determinant A is minus 3 into adjoint A is here minus 1 minus 4 1, 5 23 minus 11, 3 12 minus 6. So, 1 by determinant A is minus 3, I have written minus in the numerator. So, into adjoint A, here we have the matrix adjoint A. So, this is the value of A inverse. Please make a note of this.